While we anxiously await the release of Journey Together, Japan's a little bit ahead of us. They've had Journey Together cards for a couple of weeks now, and they are ramping up for the next major set over there. So today, we're going to start looking at the first cards from their Heatwave Arena set, which is going to be in our upcoming Destined Rivals set, which also includes Team Rocket cards. I'm Jeff from InThirdPerson.com. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about this upcoming Japanese set, how it pertains to our upcoming English/other language sets, and look at some of the first revealed cards. We'll start with Heatwave Arena. In Japan, they get smaller sets every month, and then they get clumped together to release in a bigger set outside of Japan. So this is one of the smaller sets. It's got 63 cards in it, and it's releasing on March 14th, 2025, featuring cards for trainers Pokemon, including Arven, Ethan, Cynthia, and Misty. When we eventually get these cards outside of Japan, we'll be getting them on May 30th, 2025. And not only are we getting all those Pokemon cards from Heatwave Arena, we're also getting all of the cards from the Glory of Team Rocket. I know there's a number of people who are super excited for a Team Rocket set. They will be in here, but it's only going to be a smaller part of this larger Destined Rivals set, as we're also getting the Heatwave Arena cards in there, as well as cards from Steven's Metagross deck and Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck. These are pre-constructed decks that are already out in Japan. They have some awesome looking cards in them. Still question, I think the Metagross could be good. The Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck, I don't think is too hot, but maybe they will surprise us when we ultimately get them in May. Now, just a quick disclaimer, my hair and my clothes look different in this next part of the video. Since the time I recorded me talking about the cards to now, they actually revealed all this information about Destined Rivals, so I went in and re-recorded this whole chunk, but the stuff I said about the first revealed cards is still the same, so let's get to it. First card we're going to look at is Ethan's Ho-Oh. Again, we are in an era where trainers Pokemon exist, so this is tied to Ethan, and there's going to be some synergies with Ethan's Pokemon and Ethan's specific trainer cards. This one looks awesome. Basic fire Pokemon, 230 HP, and it has the ability Golden Flame. Once during your turn, you can attach up to 2 basic fire energy from your hand to one of your benched Ethan's Pokemon. And you can attach them to any bench Pokemon. You can attach it to this Ho-Oh, though I'm not sure you want to attach it to this Ho-Oh more often than not, because for 4 fire energy, which is a lot, Shining Feather does 160 damage and you heal 50 damage from each of your Pokemon. The healing might be nice, but 160 damage is not that great. Getting the energy on there, it may not be so bad either, because we've got cards like Arven, Earthen Vessel. We also have an Ethan card that's going to make it easier to get the energy on board. This is where Ethan's Adventure comes in. It's a new supporter card that reads, search your deck for up to 3 in any combination of Ethan's Pokemon and basic fire energy, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck, giving us another way of getting that fire energy for Ho-Oh to put it onto itself or put it onto other Ethan's Pokemon that potentially make for better attackers. Ethan's Cyndaquil is nothing to write home about. Its Ember does 30 damage and you discard an energy from this Pokemon. Discarding the energy may not be ideal, but you will knock out a Badoo with this attack in an absolute worst case scenario. Here's where things get even spicier. Ethan's Quilava has the ability Adventure Bound. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for an Ethan's Adventure, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So now you've got this whole infrastructure where Quilava grabs Ethan's Adventure grabs the energy and the Pokemon, Ho-Oh then attaches the energy, and then you're attaching it to ideally a big attacker. Maybe it's Typhlosion. Buddy Blast for 1 fire energy does 40 damage, and this attack does 60 more damage for each Ethan's Adventure card in your discard pile. That's it's okay, but you kind of want to use this at the end once you've burned through all your Ethan's Adventures, which at that point you are doing 280 damage. So in the early game, this isn't going to be so great. Steam Artillery for 2 fire and a colorless does 160. That's not bad as well, but I don't know if you want to do that for a stage 2. It does have an even better attacker though. For that, we have to go to Ethan's Mag Cargo, which has the ability Melt and Flow, where if this Pokemon has no energy attached, it has no retreat cost, which is awesome because then we can use that as a pivot if need be, where you can keep stuff on the bench and then load it up and then pivot the Mag Cargo out, though you might also want it, you definitely want it as an attacker as well, where for 3 fire energy, Lava Burst does 70 damage, but you discard up to 5 energy from this Pokemon, and it does 70 damage for each card you discarded this way. So, if you discard 5 energy, you are now doing 350 damage, and that's going to one-hit KO everything in the game before damage modifiers. A single prizer that can take out Charizard in one go? Yes. And that needs a lot of energy to get there, but that's like totally possible with Ho-Oh in play. If you got 2 Ho-Ohs, that's accelerating 4 energy, and then you are off. So I think this deck has a lot of potential. Last Ethan's Pokemon we're going to look at here is Pichu. It doesn't quite fit with the fire strategy that Ethan's got going on, but still a handy card. 30 HP is terrible, but it does have free retreat, and it has the Sparking Draw attack where for 0 energy, you do 30 damage and draw a card. 30 damage is not a lot, but that's the magic number to take out Badoo, so you've got a little bit of a counter to Badoo while also being able to draw a card. Misty has her own deck coming up, and one of the Pokemon in it is Misty's Magikarp. This has 30 HP, water type. Of course, Magikarps are historically bad in Pokemon card games and everything. This one has the ability, as long as this Pokemon's on your bench, prevent all damage done from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So this is going to block itself from a lot of different sort of attacks and effects. It's not going to block everything. So for example, a Monkey Dory can still take this out because it's moving damage from one to another based on an ability, and it's not an attack, so it can't block a Monkey Dory, unfortunately, but you will block stuff like damage counters or snipe damage. And then its attack Splash for 10 is terrible, of course. However, you can set up the Magikarp into Gyarados, and this has the attack Splashing Panic for 1 water energy, 70 damage, and you discard the top 7 cards of your deck. This attack does 70 damage times the amount of Misty's Pokemon you find there. Now, you're probably not going to get 7 Pokemon off the rip, right? You're not doing, you theoretically could do a maximum of what, 490 damage? But if you can get 5 of Misty's Pokemon in there, that's 350 damage. That's a one-hit KO on everything. Even that's going to be tough, but there are some ways of rigging the deck so that you are getting more out of your Splashing Panic attack. And that's Psyduck. Psyduck has the ability Slapstick Jump, where once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard the bottom card of your deck, and if you do, discard all cards attached to this Pokemon and put it on the top of your deck. So the general game plan, get the Psyducks on your bench and then rig the deck so that they're all on the top, and then you use Gyarados as the attack for 70 damage, just yeeting those Psyducks into the discard pile with that attack. And then last but not least, helping out with the synergy of this deck and potentially some other ones is Sacred Ash, where you get to shuffle up to 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. Now, this is going to be a big help for Misty, where after you use this Gyarados attack, you can reload a bunch of those Psyducks back into your deck and some other Misty's Pokemon so that you are doing bigger damage. There might be some other uses in other decks as well, but Sacred Ash synergizes really nicely with Misty in particular for that Gyarados attack. There we go. That is a look at the first round of cards from Heat Wave Arena. Really liking what I've seen so far. I think the Misty stuff could be fun. The Ethan stuff looks absolutely busted. Ho-Oh accelerating all of that energy, and I think there's a lot of potential to make some of these cards work even outside of Ethan decks. In particular, that Ho-Oh with some energy switches could be great in something like a Gouging Fire or some other deck. So I'm really excited to see where those go. Really excited to see the Arven stuff, the Cynthia stuff, and then all of the Team Rocket stuff, which we're probably not going to see for a little while longer, but really looking forward to those cards as well. But for now, I got to get going. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on all the things: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at In Third Person. Oh, I should ask you, what do you think of those cards? Do you think these look good? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Where were we? Oh, Twitch. Yeah, you can find me on Twitch at In Third Person, where I stream the Pokemon trading card game every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And check out the website inthirdperson.com for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.